Alright, good afternoon, it's John McLaughlin, hope you're all well. I hope you had a good weekend. It's Monday afternoon and we're trading the Crossfire strategy in the afternoon, so it's 1 PM in the UK. So let's just go back. So what we're trading today, we're trading the Euro CAD, Euro USD, GBP CAD and GBP USD. And let's go and have a look and see what happened last week. So Friday, I didn't actually trade on Friday. At a previous engagement that I had to go to. So this is Euro CAD. Let's just have a quick run through of what happened on Euro CAD. This is a 15-minute time frame. So this here is a trade that we took. If you go back to the session, you'll see the set. Put the card somewhere up there. You'll see the session there, and you can see what happened on the session. So we've got the two Crossfire lines on. Price went above the green trend line. We looked at the possibility of a buy. You can see there we've got the details on there for a buy. So we went for it should have been a 1 to 2 ratio. 11 pips stop loss just at this level here, and then 21 pips in profit for a 1 to 2. Then we've got the take profit 1 and take profit 2 levels at the pivot line, and then take profit 3 was all the way up here on this pivot as well. So we essentially, one of the things I always say is that if you're in a strategy where you're looking at taking a 1 to 2 as your profit level, then do you take it then to take profit 2 and then take profit 3 and so on? Okay, and I would say in this circumstance, yes, but move your stop loss up so you're locking in that 2%. Lock it in, always lock it in, and that's what we done this one. So that was a good, nice move, not too bad. So look at the Euro USD, let's say Friday, so Thursday, this was a scenario Thursday. Let's just put it in, zoom in a little bit. So there was a trade, 1 to 2 ratio, 13 pip stop loss, just around this level here, 26 pips in profit for a 1 to 2, and it did go up, it did. The price continued to move up, but we just took the 2%, and that was fine. Didn't need to take any more. So that was Thursday. Currently we're Monday. So GBP CAD, we had a similar situation on there. Price actually went up, as I can show you on here. So price went up, but it wasn't very positive. Okay. So there we've got our Crossfire trend lines. The price went above the green trend line, but it was kind of going up and then retracing and going back up and then retracing back, and it's one of them situations where it went to the pivot line, okay, all very nice, but having already taken profits on a more positive or a higher quality trade, this one, you could have got in this, and you could have, if you'd have waited all the way to this pivot line, you could have done reasonably well with that, he says. Okay, but we didn't take it, and that takes us to sort of 1900. So on a scalping strategy, depending on your risk tolerance, depending on when you want to get in, but we never got in this, and we did that because it was a little bit choppy. I didn't like it. Then we've got the pound US dollar. This was, I think, another buy. So again, we've got a buy on there. 1 to 2 ratio. We've got 15 pips, which is a little bit high for me, really. We did take the trade on a 2-minute time frame, but sometimes if you're scalping, and what I've found is a nice stop loss for this is about 7. Okay, 15 is quite high, but at the same time 31 pips in profit, 1 to 2 ratio, and it did go up a little bit further. It didn't quite hit the pivot line, okay, but it carried on. But again, we just took a 1 to 2 on that, and that's fine. One of the things I always say is that if you're just getting started, if you're not quite sure what to do, then always just take one trade on one pair. Okay, if you're taking USD and they both lose, then they're both going to lose. Okay, if they're both going to win, then fine. Okay, but mitigate your losses. Okay, and always think in terms of Let me turn this off. Always think in terms of protecting your account first, and then if we look at taking a 1 to 2 ratio, then we can base our profits on there. But if we think about taking profit, then we get involved in emotions, and we're not thinking about mitigating our risks. We're thinking more about profit, and that's when we start losing trades. Okay, so last week was quite good. What we'll probably find this week is, because right now it's the 18th of December, things, markets are probably slowing down for Christmas, but we'll see. We'll just see what happens. So currently on the 15-minute time frame, let's go back to the Euro CAD. We'll start with that one. If you hit these two little chevrons there, it will take you back to the start of the session. Okay, so 15 minutes. So what I like to do is just put the cross hairs on. Just like to put the line on the 1300 candle. And a couple of trend lines. I'll put these two at the top here. That's it. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll put all the trend lines on all the pairs to start with, and then I'll come back and we'll put the imbalance on and have a look and see what's been going on recently. Okay, so Euro USD, 15-minute time frame. Put the vertical line on the, oh dear. Right, vertical line on the 1300 and the two trend lines. And what we'll do, 13.15, we then put these trend lines in place, ready to start the day's trading. Okay, last one, GBP USD. Right, they're all ready. So let's go and have a look at Euro CAD again. So again, this is the 15-minute time frame. So what we've got here, these lines here, these boxes, they're imbalance from the 12th, Tuesday the 12th, during the morning session. Okay, so what's happened is price has gone meandered around, and it's come through, and it's now mitigated this imbalance, so it's been taken away, it's been taken out. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get rid of those. Always nice to try and keep a tidy chart. In fact, let me just take off the straightforward, and let me take off the clouds, and that'll give us a nice cleaner chart that we can see. So up here we've got our areas of interest, and what I'll do, I'll probably keep them on because they're probably still relevant from this take profit 1, take profit 2 trade that we did on the 14th on Thursday. So let's just have a look for imbalance. Let's make this a bit bigger. There we go. Look at all this nastiness up here, choppy moves, and there's maybe a tiny bit of imbalance there. In fact, we'll just make this a bit bigger so we can see it. Tiny bit there, tiny bit. I'll put it on. And again, when you put your imbalance on, it just gives you a nice, just gives you an idea of what the market may potentially do. There's nothing there. What it may do, okay. And as I always say, you know, imbalance can be areas of support and resistance. You can see there's no imbalance there. there was imbalance here, okay, but as you can see it's been taken out here. So we're looking for areas above here, above this area here for imbalance. So there's a bit there. So I'll put the box on, go across, and so again what you're looking for is the first wick. The second wick is the one we're interested in because that's the big one, okay, and that's where the imbalance is. So we're looking at this one and this one, okay, so we're going to go to there, and imbalance goes just to there. In fact, a little bit higher than that, just to the bottom of that wick. There we go. So the bottom of that candle, bottom of that body, and the top of this one here. Right, that's imbalance there, so I'll just put my imbalance template on. That's quite a way away, so it might not be relevant for this particular session, but that's where we are. A little bit, no, okay, that's fine. We'll leave that. We'll leave that as it is there. Okay, Euro USD. Let's see what we've got here. So we've got pretty much imbalance in a similar sort of position. So from there just to the top of there. No, it's just mitigated it on this side. You can see from there, look. That's it. Alright, so bottom of that candle. There we go, bottom of that candle there. To there. Hit the cog. Hit the imbalance. Okay. Okay. You don't have to put, imbalance on. Or rather, you don't have to put your text on, it's up to you. But as long as you can identify it, that's the main thing. Right. And do we have anything else? We've got imbalance here, look. I'll put that on. Good. That'll do for that one. Right, 1304. So we've still got a few more minutes yet before we can put these trend lines on. So let's have a look at imbalance over here. So we might have bits over here, but I don't really see the point in putting imbalance on as long as you can see it, okay? Because what might happen is price might take it out fairly quick, and you end up with just more information on your chart. So we know there's imbalance there, or to there anyway. So there's a tiny bit there. Let's just take the indicators off so we can see it. Oh, look how clean that is. Okay, so we've got imbalance up here, look. This is from, again, this is from Thursday. This has been taken out, so we can just get rid of that. And what have we got here? We've got imbalance up here. Put a box tool on, and we'll take our imbalance down to there. See, it's the bottom of that candle, the body, and the top of that. I see it's the wrong one. Yeah, the top of that wick there. Okay, that's where it's been. That's where it's gone to. Okay, and then we'll put our cog on. Template, imbalance. Click OK. Okay, we'll just we'll come back and straighten that up in a minute. That looks okay from about there, I think. Yeah, that's it. So we'll straighten this up just to the start of the session. I'll tell you what we will do. I'll just do this. I'll just do this because I'm a little bit. We are looking at the 15-minute, so when it comes to, there we go. We'll put that on there. Right, so we've got that on. That is to there. We'll put our imbalance on. Right, good. Okay, so that's pretty much all our imbalance done for the time being. And as I always say, you can get indicators that you can get the imbalance indicator, and it will just turn your candles white or whatever color you want. The only thing it doesn't turn them off, doesn't change those colors once the imbalance has been mitigated. So I just do this, and you just do whatever is good for you. You see from there, you can just bring that to where the imbalance is. Okay, just tidy up a little bit. Just do what works for you. And some people like text, some people like lots of visuals, some people like lots of lines. Okay, what I would say is always try and minimize the amount of clutter you've got on your chart, because it can throw you off. Okay, so the minimum amount of indicators, the better for me, the better really. So let's have a look. So in terms of, while we're talking about indicators, and we've got a few minutes left, what we've got on the chart, we've got the straightforward Forex indicator. This is the custom built indicator that we've got for our trading group, straightforward Forex traders. This is custom made, and it's always been updated. So what you'll get with this is you'll get indicators of a wave down or a wave up. Okay, wave down, obviously look out for sells. Wave up, look out for potential buys. We like to put the PSAR on. Some people do, some people don't, but I just do. Parabolic stop and reverse. When the dots are at the top, okay, we're looking for the sells, okay, pushing that price down. And the further away the PSAR is from the candle, then the better the idea, the better the potential trade. So the further away this is from the candle, then the better it is for us. All right. We've also got these red candles on here, okay, on the wave, pushing the wave down. So this can tell us the direction to go in, and also whether to stay in a trade or not. Okay, depending on your strategy. So if we're looking at that previous one I showed you on Thursday, where I went to take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3, that this wave can tell us if we're going to stay in a trade or not. Okay, just gives us additional confirmations. There's that. We've also got the moving averages. Okay, so if we look at that, we've got the 5, which is the white. So the white is the 5 EMA. It's an exponential moving average. We've got the 13, which is the yellow. Okay, we've got the 62, which is the green, and up here we've got the 200, which is blue. And again, however you set up your chart, some people have their background white. So obviously, a white EMA on a white background is not going to be seen. So you just put whatever you want on there. And the guy that I learned from and continue to learn from, he has a white background, so therefore he has different EMA colors. So you just get to know what it is. As long as the value is the same, then you're okay. So look at the EMAs. And EMAs, again, they form support and resistance. The 200 moving average is always a good profit target in some circumstances. I'll show you that. But yeah, it's an additional confirmation. The other thing we've got on here is the WADAR ATAR. Okay, so the WADAR, what it will do, you've got this histogram. Okay, and the histogram is essentially when the histogram goes up. Okay, you can see there's a nice bit of strength there. So when we go for a buy, okay, it's a nice dark green color. That means strength in the market. And then when it changes color to a slightly lighter green, that indicates a bit more of a weaker push. This thing here, we've got this blue zone, okay, what we call the dead zone. Okay, so we don't want to be taking any trades when this explosion line, this white line, is inside of here. We want to be waiting until it pushes out. Okay, when it pushes out, that's when we want to be going for potential buys in that situation. And the opposite, of course, is true, where you've got it's coming out for the sells, so potential sells, and the darker red is strength, whereas the salmony red is weaker. And again, you put any colors you want on. Some people like the red and blue and so on and so forth. So you just do whatever works for you. But you can see here it went into the dead zone. We're not really interested in anything. It started moving out, and then it's got quite a positive push out in the sell direction. Okay, so if we equate that into, let's make it something like this, which is a bit more obvious. Okay, so you can see there where we've got, this is 12:45 on Friday. What happened on Friday is that you get a lot of news, 13:30. So what you've got here, you've got the Wada Atar pushing down, okay, for sells. We've got dark red, and then so if you can see that pushing down, and that was 13:30. That was during the news. Okay, so there's a lot of cash being injected by the financial institutions. Okay, but at the same time, not massive amounts of volume. Okay, because it's being manipulated at the time. So it came down. Okay, and as you can see, it's all red. The explosion line is moving away. Okay, but we wouldn't have got in this because again, it's just manipulation. But again, that's just how the Wada Atar works. And again, every indicator that you've got on your chart is just a lagging indicator. It just tells you what's happening at the time. Okay, so what I say, this is why I say, if you can get away with as fewer indicators as possible, and just enough to confirm what is going on, and all I say is all the lines, all the indicators, everything that you put on your chart, they're just there as stacks of probability. Okay, so everything adds up to getting into a buy, getting into a sell, or not getting in at all. Okay, and that's really where you want to be when it comes to trading. Okay, so you just add in those stacks. Yeah, so we're just waiting 2 minutes yet until we get on to putting our trend lines on. And what we're looking to do with the trend lines, okay, if you look at this, let's make it a bit bigger. Okay, so if you look at this setup here, okay, 1300 candle, okay, has currently got a big wick at the top and a tiny little wick at the bottom. And what we're looking for is the higher highs to the left of this wick. Okay, so if we put our crosshairs at the top of this wick, okay, and look left, where's the higher high? Okay, and if you look left, you can see it's this one here. Okay, so what we would do, we would go and put our magnet tool on. We'll go and grab the trend line, okay, and we go and put this on top of this higher high because it is the higher high next to this one. Okay, and then we'd pull this down so it went on top of the wick. That's it, just that. Okay, but we can't really put it on until 13:15 because price may well spike up and that would change the position of this. But just for argument's sake, we'll just leave it on there for now. Okay, and the lower low next to this one, okay, is the one right next to it. This is the lower one, you see, it's lower. Okay, it's not complicated. And we then just go and put this underneath there. Okay, just underneath that little wick. That's it. So as long as this doesn't change for the next, what are we looking at, 15 seconds, which it's unlikely to, okay, then we're good to go. So what we would do, we would put our indicators back on, and we then put it on the 2 minute time frame. There we go. Okay, so we get in the trade based on the 2 minute time frame, and it gives us a bit of an earlier warning signal. And all we're looking at doing is we're looking for price to go above the green trend line for potential buys and below this red trend line for potential sells. Okay, so I'll just talk through that as we go. Right, so we're currently on the 15 minute. Let's just take all the noise off. So the higher high, see how imbalance is in the way? Okay, I'll do. Okay, so the higher high is the one straight next to it. So we'll put our magnet tool on, grab our trend line, put that right next to it, and I'll bring this one, so I'll make this a bit smaller. quite a steep old curve, but that's where she's at. And the lower low for this one is all the way across. No, the lower low is this one. It's just bloody imbalance. It's right in the way. I'll have to leave it on, so I don't want to take it off. Right, so the lower low is this one here, and we'll just put this. It's just there. That's it. All right, put it on for 2 minutes, and we'll take off the magnet tool. That's as good to go. Right, next one, GBP CAD. Okay, so there's a candle. The higher high is the one next to it. There we go. That's going to go and sit on top of that wick, just there. The lower low, where's that one? That might be a ways away. Yeah, it's there, look. See, that's the start of the session this morning. So there isn't a lower low. So all we're going to do, we're going to put that on the candle, and we're going to put this level. So all we do is, I've got my mouse clicked, I'm going to hit, so mouse clicked, hit shift, okay, let go of the mouse, let go of shift, and it puts it level. Okay, that's that. GBP USD. In fact, I put these back on. Put him back on the 15. Sorry, 2 minutes. There we go. Okay, and we'll see what happens from there. Right, last one, GBP USD. The higher high. If I take these off. The higher high is the one next to it. I'll put that on top of the wick. And the lower low, if we look at a crosshairs, the lower low, see how it's cutting through this green one. This is lower, so it's there. So the lower low goes there. And the trend line on the bottom of the wick. There we go. That's it. A lot of people say, you know, do you have to be exactly accurate? Well, I like to be accurate, but what you'll find is, as you trade and as the price respects these trend lines, you'll give you a better idea if they're accurate or not. Okay, but put them on as best you can. Okay, so we're currently just waiting. Let's have a quick look at the news. So my FX book, and we'll go to the economic calendar. Okay, 13:30 we've got CAD news. We've always got news at 13:30. Euro news at 13:30. 1400 we've got Euro news. 1500 we've got USD news. So pretty much news throughout the whole afternoon. Medium news on the CAD and low impact news on the Euro, but there's no high impact news, but by and large it doesn't really matter too much because we've got a lot of news. We've still got to be mindful of the fact, so we'll bear that in mind. The other one we can look at as well is Forex Factory. So I always like to check it, but the news on this doesn't really compare very well to the previous one. So like the 18th, I mean, it's saying Euro news, saying a bit of, actually it's not, it's saying it's CAD 1:30, US at 3 o'clock, and New Zealand a little bit later on. So very not as detailed as this. This is why I like to use my FX book a lot better. Okay, but always check both, just makes common sense. Alright, so 13:30 we've got the CAD. So let's have a look at CAD. So what I tend to do is I'll just put a little line on there. Okay, there's no indicator from TradingView. It only gives you high impact news, but I like to just put a little bit of a heads up on that, and the GBP CAD as well. So right now, if we look at the Euro CAD, see how price is respecting this trend line. Okay, this is the one we put on. So price is respecting that trend line, so it kind of gives you a bit more confidence that the trend line's in the right place, and also it gives you confidence in the strategy. Okay, so again, we're waiting for price to come down below this level. Okay, starting to touch on this imbalance, but we're waiting for price to come down below the red trend line, and currently where price is right now, would never take a trade in this area here. Okay, this is kind of what we call no man's land. Okay, right now again it's doing the opposite, it's going above the green trend line. So what I would look for with this is, I want we're on the 2 minute time frame, so we've got 1 minute and 35 left. I would want price to come across and up. In fact, just put the indicators back on. There we go. So I want price to come across and up and give us some clear air. Okay, I don't want it touching the trend line, I want it above the trend line. Okay, however, then my next question is, where is price going to go to? And currently we're in a wave down, so it's not telling us anything. It's telling us that we should be looking for potential sells. Okay, but it's going above that trend line. Okay, so we're still on the PSAR is still red, so the PSAR is still pushing down. So in order for this PSAR to flip, the price has to go up, has to touch the PSAR, and the PSAR will then flip underneath. Okay, but the main thing I'm looking at is, if I'm going to go in for any potential buys on this, what is the distance between here and this moving average? Okay, it's 4.8 pips to the 62, and it's 11.3 to the 200. So once the PSAR has flipped, does that really give me enough? And what a lot of people do when they get into this situation, they go, well, it's gone above the green trend line, so therefore I need to be getting into a buy. Okay, and their optimism bias kicks in as to why they should get in, rather than thinking why, or rather than saying why they shouldn't. Okay, and in every situation when it comes to trading, you always want to be in a position of, why should I not get in this? You know, take the pessimistic view, and because you're dealing with the markets, you're not dealing with, you need to take all the emotion away from it and think, what is the logic telling me? Okay, so you might want to get into this for a buy because you think it might go up, but look, we've got this barrier here, we've got this barrier here, PSAR is a barrier, the wave down's a barrier, the Wadarata, it's kind of, it's outside the explosion line, but it's not really doing anything. It's not pointing in a direction. If it was pointing up, if that explosion line, this white line here was pointing up, then we'd be going, okay, that's a probability stack in our favor for a buy. Okay, but right now it's just going sideways. Okay, so I don't know what it wants to do. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it. Just going to leave it and see what happens. Right, Euro USD, no man's land. Currently, nothing really happening. GBP CAD, same as the Euro CAD really. We're in a wave down. Okay, Wadarata is, in fact, the Wadarata is now pointing down. Okay, which is saying we'll run out of steam for the buys. Not as though there was much steam anyway. And you can see from there, you can see the top of that candle. So you've got the PSAR just about to touch the PSAR. When that body goes up and touches the PSAR, that PSAR will flip, okay, underneath, and it will go green. And again, that could be an indicator that price wants to reverse. But currently, what we've got now, we've got the wave. The wave is still in a wave down, okay. And if you look at the height of the candles, it was quite big, getting smaller, just a little bit, okay. And you can see how price went up, and now that PSAR has flipped, it's gone green. Okay, Wadarata is showing a bit of strength, okay, but we've still got that kind of limp. Is that the right word? The explosion line's a bit limp. Yeah, we'll use that. Okay, now the next thing I'm looking at is this is looking quite good for a potential buy. Okay, even though we're still in a wave down situation. Okay. And we've also got news. Okay, we've got news at 13:30 So 13:30 Canadian news, you know, it's medium impact as well. So is this just going to be a little bit of a fake out, okay, to get people interested, get the stop losses up here, or to get the stop losses down here rather for the buys, and then suddenly when the news kicks in, it takes those stop losses out and then goes up, okay. And again, from where price is right now, 5.4 pips to the 62 moving average, which is nowhere near enough. We've got a barrier here, which is the bottom of the imbalance, which I've always found is either support and resistance, okay, and 25 pips to the 200. So potentially this could be a decent move if it goes past the 62 moving average, okay, and then you've got this area here, okay, which is the previous highs, okay. So a lot to consider, a lot to take into consideration. However, we're still on a wave down. Wave up here, there's your wave down. So ideally I'd like a wave up, okay, and the wave up is indicated from our straightforward Forex indicator. So even though things are going in our favor, for me there's not enough stacks in our favor, and it's not ready, I don't think, for a buy. If we were to go for a buy, see how our price went up to the imbalance, just up here, okay. Potentially, if he can do it, you've got 20 pips to there, okay. So if we were to go long on this, even though it's going backwards, I'll just show you the numbers. So the main thing we're looking at is where's our take profit? Sorry, where's our stop loss? The main thing is a stop loss. 8.9 pips down to this engulfing candle here. Okay, potentially you want to take it down to this engulfing candle here. Now you're starting to get into the 13 pip stop loss, and you're not going to make it. What I'm thinking is you want a 1-to-2 ratio, ideally in that situation there, below the imbalance, around these previous highs, okay, and even there your stop loss 9.8, still quite a bit. However, if we took it to the bottom of this engulfing candle here, we've got 9.1 pips of stop loss, and if we say that's 2%, 18 pips of profit. So again, if we're looking at getting involved, this is what the sort of things that I look at is, first of all, where's your stop loss? Are you comfortable with that stop loss? Is the stop loss in a good position? Okay, in a better position would be around here, okay, below this trend line, because this is more of a significant area of resistance for the price going south, okay. But let's see where it goes. Let's see what happens, okay. So let's just put that in there, okay. Again, this isn't a trade, this is just an idea, okay. So let's have a look at GBP USD. GBP USD it's above the green trend line, it's above the red trend line, okay, but now it's met some resistance at the 200 moving average. PSAR's flipped, we're in a wave up, okay. The Wadarata is showing a bit of weakness, however the explosion line is pointing up, so it's pointing up slightly pointed up, okay. If that was a hill, you'd have to drop your gears on your bike to try and get up it, but currently we're now going down, okay. So if I'm looking at this for a potential trade, first of all let's look left. Where did price go to? Okay, well price has gone to there previously, okay. Price went to here, looking at these two, these hits here, okay. But at the extreme, price went up to here, okay. Now if you say, well, price went up to there on the higher high, what are you doing there? Okay, are you being realistic, or are you being a little bit optimistic? Is this your optimism bias kicking in? Well, it went to there previously, so therefore that's going to be my take profit level. Okay, what we've got to do initially is find out if this is going to break this 200 moving average, and again we want clear air above the 200 moving average to go up, and then we'll consider where we're going to go. But let's put our areas of interest on. Okay, so let's take that off. So areas of interest would be this area here. Say just about there. So it's hit. So it's tapping there. It's tapping here, and it's tapping this little cluster of candle as well. Okay, so that is our area of interest, and look at where it is now. I didn't even look at that. It's right on that 200 moving average. Okay, so price definitely needs to break that area before we're going to consider buys. Okay, so let's go a little bit higher. Another area of interest. Okay, it could be there. So you see where price is there. Okay, it tapped there, and it tapped there. And if you go further back, you'll see that price, that line is also relevant as well. And then instead of tapping the top, so what I'm looking at this area here. Instead of tapping the top, okay, that's too optimistic. The bodies, too optimistic. We're going to tap it there. In fact, I want to bring it down even further to there. Okay, so we're tapping here, we're tapping there, and we're tapping here as well. All right. So in terms of areas of interest, that's kind of what I'll be looking at. And depending on how price reacts when it gets above there, then we'll consider options from there. Okay. We'll see what's going to happen. That's right. Look at Euro CAD. Euro CAD, I say the 62 is offering resistance. So again, price needs to break above there, and then ideally break above. Only got 5 pips to there. And when you consider your broker spread, how much the broker is going to take away from you, so sometimes they can take away 1, 2 pips. It depends on the time of day. And the way to find out your broker spread is go on to your MT4, MT5, whatever it is, and just initiate broker spread, and they'll tell you. Every terminal you get, MT4, 5, what's the other one? I keep thinking CPAL, but it's not. They will tell you what it is on a broker to broker level. Okay, and if you're interested on, what the difference is, just go on different times. Okay, and what you'll find is when you get those crossovers between the different exchanges, so the close of the UK, the open of New York, and those kind of times, those crossovers, you always end up with a bit of a commission push, so you end up paying more. So be really mindful of that as well, because sometimes if you're doing scalping and you don't check your spread, and suddenly you're in 5 pips deficit because you didn't check your spread, then you've got to make sure you either break even or you make profit, but always check your spread. So this is why I look at this. So I'll look at that and I'll go, okay, from here to here is 5 pips. There's no point getting into a trade for 5 pips when you're potentially going to lose 2 pips in spread. Okay, so that's not really going to work. So always check that. Right, what's this? Euro USD. So there's the green trend line. We've got clear air, okay. Got the engulfing candle. We've got a wave up. We've got movement away from the on the explosion line. So potentially we've got something cooking here. There's the pivot line, and the price previously went to the pivot line and just at the bottom of the imbalance. Okay, so from where price is now, 2 pips, 3 pips. Ideally, what I'd want to do with this one, okay, is just kind of wait. See, in terms of timing, look, price went up, it went into the clear air, okay, and then you kind of want to wait just a little bit just to see where price is going to go and what happened to price. It went down, okay, so price then came down, almost touched, see that wick, almost touched the trend line before breaking away, okay, and it's got a nice bit of clear air right now. But what I want to do, what I would like to do, because this is an area of resistance, okay, as you can see from previous price action there, resistance. So the price, the area to that resistance is only going to be a pip or two. Yeah, 1.2. So again, it's gone above the green trend line, but I want it to go into the imbalance and away. Okay, and it may or may not do that. But looking at this is from Friday, so it could well mitigate this imbalance from Friday, and we could end up with a nice trade. There's a lot of imbalance there. The imbalance from here is what? It was 11 pips, which is probably okay. Probably okay. We'll just see what price does in the next few minutes. We see any line, the price will do one or two things. It's either going to bounce or break. Okay, so right now you've got price bouncing off the pivot, okay, and coming down. It's going to bounce off this trend line as well, and it's also got this red line, the trend line. It's going to bounce off that as well, okay, because that's, so the price has got to do something. It's either going to go below or it's going to go above, and my thoughts are with this is that price wants to go above, and it's going to want to mitigate this imbalance. But again, we'll have to see. We'll have to wait. Right. So GBP CAD. Okay. So price is still moving to the upside. We've got the resistance. It's broken through the 62. So from there to there, we've got 15 pips. And it's starting to see. It's broken through it. See how it's broken through. Just look at the crosshairs from there. So this green candle. Okay, it went up. It broke through. But it came back, so it's still straddling this 62 moving average. Okay, let's just take. I'll leave that on for a minute because that was a potential. Let's have a look. We didn't go into a trade or anything like that, but it was too soon, and there weren't really enough pips. But you know, if this continues to the upside and breaks clear of this 62, then the move from the 62 to a 200 is quite a good area. However, previous highs was the bottom of the imbalance, so we're going to look at the kind of above the 62 to the bottom of the imbalance is 16 pips. So generally speaking, we've got a fairly nice amount of free air. Okay, if we can get a 1-to-2 ratio. I bet looking at this, we got the 1-to-2 ratio when the stop loss was down here, but obviously price is moving around. We'll just see what happens on this in a minute. Okay, so GBP USD. Yeah, so you see how price kind of resisted this 200 moving average. And it was like bounce or break. Okay, bounce. Okay, try again, bounce. Okay, try again, bounce. And now it's gone to the downside. So what you've got there is like a bit of a bun fight between the buyers and sellers. And the sellers have kind of, at the moment, the sellers are winning out. Okay, so now what you've got now is you've got clear air from there, but now we've got the move back down. Okay, so you've got resistance. This yellow moving average. The yellow one is a 13 moving average. And then we've got this here, okay, the 62, that's in the way, okay, and then we've got the trend line, that's in the way, okay, so there's all kinds of little blockages and things in the way, like 1.7 pips to 62, and then down to there it's 7.4 pips, so nothing really happening, nothing really positive, so we're just going to wait and see. Alright, what's happening on the Euro CAD? Okay, so the news didn't really affect anything on the CAD. Didn't really affect anything. We're currently on 1330 or past. So we've had the CAD news. Didn't really affect much. The euro news didn't really affect much. No, not like you would see on a Friday afternoon where you get loads of US news. The price just goes ballistic in any direction. So again, looking at this euro US dollar, okay, going down for looking at potential sells. But again, what have we got? We've got price that needs to keep to. We need essentially what I'd want to see. I would want to see. Let's put the arrow on. I'd want to see clear air. So I'd want to see clear air between this candle and the red trend line, and also clear air between this candle and here. Okay, if we were going for potential sells. So I'd want to see the candle forming about here and then to down. But then of course we've got the 62 and the 200 moving average kind of blocking its way. It's a bit like the 100-meter hurdles. Okay, no straight run. Okay, you've got to hurdle over these, and sometimes people fall flat on the face. Okay, so let's have a look at where, if we take it from this area here. So if I put your crosshairs back on. So if we take it from the trend line, okay, what have we got in terms of distance? We've got 4.5 pips to there, to the 62. We've got 6.3 pips to the 200, and then we've got areas of imbalance at 22 and 30. So if the candle came below the 200 and started to move down, okay, then we look at, okay, what about previous price action? Where has that gone? Then we can look at that, and then we can make an assumption or make an estimation or a decision of whether we get into a trade or not based on those factors. But right now price is meandering back up to the top. Okay, I don't know if we've got any pilots watching, okay, but I'm sure when you were doing your tests for your pilot, you go, okay, we've got to divert to this airport, can we get there? Okay, so you go, okay, what have we got? We've got distance, time, fuel, wind, direction, all those sorts of things. Yes, we've done the calculations, and yes, we can make it to the airport. Okay, and this is very similar. Okay, we're looking at the going down for a sell. Let's look at all the calculations. Have we got enough to get there? Have we got enough? No, we haven't. Risk to reward is 1 to 2. Can we make it? No. Okay, and by the same token, we look at potential sells, and we go, okay, it's now turned. And now we're looking at potential buys. What are the options there? Okay, so that's what we're looking at all the time, just looking at and reassessing and just seeing what we've got. So what we've got right now, okay, we've got the price going up for a buy, or it's going upwards. It's dragging its heels on this trend line. So again, I want clear air. But then what have I got? Next one, I've got this pivot. Okay, it's going to form resistance. Okay, the bottom of this inbound is going to form resistance. When it breaks through from there, then potentially I can get into a trade, but not yet. Not yet. Right, so let's have a look. GBP CAD. Kind of not really much happening there. Okay, still waiting for it to go up to the area of the 200. Okay, so where price is now. Yeah, we've got 14 pips. So still not amazing, but you can see the Wadarata is showing us that we had strength here. The explosion line still moving away. Okay, the previous histogram was dark green. This one is now lighter green, as you can see, as indicated by the fact that the candle's gone red. But on the wave, okay, we've got the wave up. Okay, the wave is getting bigger, as you can see from there. Those wave bars are getting bigger, getting taller. Okay, and we've got the PSAR is green. But is that a great trade? Well, it's not an amazing trade, and you got to bear in mind also it's Monday afternoon, and it's nearer Christmas, so things are going to be slowing down. But we'll just see what happens. Okay, GBP USD. Yeah, price is still bouncing off the 200. It still wants to go above. It's still going to bounce above the 200. It's bouncing off, came down. And we said sellers might be in control, and then suddenly the buyers sort of, get a bit more ammunition and try and push the price up. Bounce off the 200, bounce off again. So essentially we're just looking at sideways rotation, consolidation of this price. Nothing is really happening. And one thing to look at when you look at consolidation is it's the banks, the pension funds getting ready to do something. Okay, so what you'll find is retail traders or traders will think, okay, well, I've looked at all the evidence, looked at all the information, and I'm going to go for a potential buy or potential sell, and they'll put their stop losses in place. Okay, and at the end of that consolidation, price will jump in one direction. Okay, and that's what you've got to be mindful of. So when it comes to prices consolidating, just sit on your hands. Just don't do anything. Just wait. Okay, just wait. Again, for the purpose of this strategy, if this was going to go for a buy, see how price is starting to push up, but it's still dragging its feet. Make this a bit bigger so you can see it. Well, it was dragging its feet. Now so we get this doji candle. So you get a big wick and a small body, and essentially price doesn't really know what it wants to do. Okay, so we're below this line. Price is coming up. It's going to end up bouncing off this 200 moving average again. If price comes down, then it's going to end up bouncing off the 62 moving average, and it kind of does this in this little zone. Okay, in this rotation, sideways rotation. So nothing happening with that. So Euro CAD. Again, it's just, if you look at this, look, if we move in a little bit, it's just when I talk about clear air, that's not clear anymore. There was a tiny gap. Okay, now obviously the gap needs to be not substantial, but the gap needs to be noticeable. Okay, and again, same thing, we're just kind of rotating sideways. Nothing major happening. Moderator showing there's not a lot of volume. We've got the wave up. Okay, so we've had a nice move up to this way, but again, it wasn't a trade that I was really that bothered to get in, because you've got the 62, you've got the 200. Okay, now let's say you would potentially you wouldn't get in this because it's still dragging its feet, still touching that trend line. Okay, that was obviously a sell. You've got the engulfing candle there, so potentially you could get in there or even there, but then you've still got a tiny bit of distance between there or even here and this 62 moving average. Okay, so if you look at the pips from there, 4.4 pips. Now if you say, well, I want to get in anyway and maybe price can go to there, then to be quite honest with you, you're just starting to gamble. And as I always say, it's better to wait to get into really good trades than just accept the sweepings off the floor, because essentially that's what that would be. And if you take into consideration, your broker spread, even if you got into there, okay, even if it went up to say here, yeah, 14 pips is okay. So you might have scraped, 10, 11, 12 pips, but essentially, would you have been able to get your 1 to 2? Let's have a look. So if we go into, if we go to a long position, and let's say we got in on this one. Okay, so that's quite a nice stop loss. So you're below this engulfing candle, you're just below the trend line, which is not too bad. Going up for a 1 to 2. No hope. No hope of a 1 to 2. Look, even if you took it to kind of there, Still no hope. Miles away. Okay. And yet you could potentially have taken a trade and won it. And this is what I used to say when I was first trading. I'd say, look, the price went above. If you'd have got in when the price went above, then why didn't we just take it? Because if you did, you'd be like 16 pips up now. You know, and people would say, well, that's not part of the strategy. You've got to take really good trades. And that's kind of, you know, what I would say there is just wait and take the better trades rather than hoping, you know, I know it's gonna bounce or break when it gets to there, but go up, go on, up we go. Okay, it's just gambling. You don't want to be doing it. Right, so Euro USD, sideways rotation, nothing really happening. We've got some indication of a potential sell on the Wadarata, but again, look at all the barriers in place. We've got the 62 from where price is now, wherever it is. There we are there. So 4 pips, 7 pips, and then we've got some nice clear air to the imbalance at 22 pips. In fact, let me just check what that is. Well, that imbalance is gone. Must have missed that one. Alright, just stick us on the put it on the 15-minute. Yeah, a lot of imbalance there still. Okay, good. I thought there might have been a bit of imbalance a bit lower down, but there isn't. So there kind of was a bit there, look. It went down and kind of mitigated it, so. Okay, right, let's put it back on for 2 minutes. So the imbalance from there is like way down here. It's like miles away. So again, when price comes down, what we could do is we could hit the cloud, okay, and right click it and add an alert on it, okay. So we can put an alert on there, so crossing down, okay, and we can put an alert on there. I'm going to put it on yet because there were too many alerts on, but yeah, when price comes down, oh crikey, an hour and three, we've been on already. So when price comes down past these moving averages, clear air, and then we'll have a look for the downside. I mean, that would be a tremendous trade, that, if it went all the way down to anywhere. I mean, it would end up going to sort of these lower lows here, okay, and you'd have to put them on. Your areas of interest would have to be quite conservative, okay, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one for potential sells. Right, so look at Euro CAD again. So again, Euro CAD is starting to come down for sells, but again, this is our trend line. So we're a way away from our trend line, and we're also still in a wave up. So the wave up here, Wadarata is showing us very little volume. We've got the PSAR flip. Okay, so the PSAR is showing sell, but like I say, it's still a case of just sit and wait. Sit and wait on that. Euro USD. Similar, I think, to the GBP USD, where price is coming down, okay, but we've still got these two barriers, the 62 and the 200. The Wadarata showing strength, but the explosion line is going back towards the dead zone, so that's not doing much for us. It's still salmon coloured, so again, it's showing us that it's it's running out of steam on the sells as indicated because the candle's gone green. So this green trend line now is going to be resistance, and as you can see, it's trying to push through. Okay, so it pushed up and it bounced. I don't know if you can see that on this one. Trying to push up, bouncing off. Trying to push up, bouncing off. And it's just kind of interesting to see what happens. And also, this is the line that we put on. Okay, so this is your trend line, and you can see how price has respected it perfectly. Okay, maybe a tiny bit off there. Here, perfect touch. Okay, there, just through there, perfect touch. Now it's breaking through, but we've still got 49 seconds left on this time frame. So what we're looking to see is, does price break through or does price bounce off it? And if it breaks through, what you want is the body to be clear, not touching the trend line. Okay. So it's got some interesting moves. We'll just wait on. Just interesting to see what's going to happen on this one. Got 18 seconds left on this time frame. Order RTR is still showing red, and we've also got a wave down, but that's irrelevant. I just want to see what happens on this trend line. Right, so there you go. So it's given us the clear air, okay, and that's broken this trend line. Although because we're still in a wave down, we've look at the PCR down, it may well come straight back down and hit it again. And what I always say as well is on the 2-minute time frame, if you get a positive confirmation of a direction, okay, so if everything was lined up, see how it's come back down, hit it. If everything was lined up for a buy, then wait at least 30 seconds before you get into a trade. Okay, just be patient. Just because the part of the strategy has been proven. Okay, i.e., the price went above the green trend line. Don't suddenly think that's it. It's time to get in. It's not. Now it's time just to have a bit of a closer look and a bit more of a look at it. And look, you see, price has come all the way down. So now we've got to wait until the next time frame to see what's going to happen with that price. And what's going to happen? We're still in a wave down. Okay, first thing, we're in a wave down. Second thing, the main thing I look at is the wave down and also price action. What's happening with price? Is it going sideways? Is it going up? Is it going down? Okay, and currently right now it's just going sideways. Same with all of them. So let's look at another one. GBP CAD. Okay, so GBP CAD is again, it's just kind of going sideways. What RTR is showing us that there's not a huge amount of volume, and currently the explosion line is moving back down towards the dead zone, and it will get a lighter green, so it's showing a bit more weakness, as indicated by the red candle. We're currently in a wave up. Okay, so the wave up is here, and price may well come to this area here. Okay, which is what we said back here, that price may want to come there. Okay, to the bottom of the imbalance, which is pretty much where the 200 moving average is now. But it's not a great trade, you know what I mean? It's not a great one. It's a kind of one of them ones where it looks like it might do eventually. And one of the things I'll say about the psychology of scalpers is that scalpers like to be in trades and out trades fairly quick. And I know a lot of scalpers who will be in a trade for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50, and they'll start getting twitchy. It's like, oh, I don't like being in trades this long, Whereas the longer term traders, they're on the relaxed strategy, they'll be in a trade for a day, 2 days, a week, maybe longer, maybe a month. Yeah, it's fine, it's okay. So it's all about getting the right psychology and also getting the right strategy for you. Okay, pound US dollar, sideways rotation, and you can see this area of interest that we put on. Okay, still respecting the area of interest, still respecting the 200 moving average. and it's neither breaking through it nor anything else. It's just nothing is happening. And I always say this on a Monday morning, Monday afternoon, they're always slow. Okay, the markets are just warming up, and as I said, because we're now the 18th of December, the markets are also getting ready to go into a period of holiday. Okay, because it's Christmas. Okay, so you got to be mindful of that as well. So nothing really happening on this. And what you can do, I mean, obviously we're an hour and 10 minutes into the session. You can go and put alerts on. So you can go and add alerts to, if we're looking at potential buys, okay, you know, if we look at this area of interest, okay, we could just go and put an alert on it, okay. Crossing the horizontal ray, okay, create. So when the price goes up and goes to the horizontal ray, I'm going to get an alert, okay, and that alert may well pay dividends. It may not, but we'll have a look. And it just saves us looking at the charts all day. Excuse me. And you can do that for anything, for any sort of. You can put it on this trend line. Okay, so you see that little clock. Okay, you can put it on there. Okay, let me know when it's crossing the trend line. Okay, please, and you get an alert via. You can set them up yourself. You can get alerts on your email, text message, everything. Okay, you'll never miss out. Come through to your phone, all sorts. Moving average, have a look on that. Click on there, right click, add alert on there, click on there, put whatever you want on the straightforward Forex. Put an alert on that. Put an alert on the water avatar. Okay, is price coming out of the explosion line? And if it is, then you can set an alert, and it'll tell you, and you can come back and reassess it. It's not necessarily a case of just getting the trade, and this is why I would never advocate doing anything on your phone. I know a lot of people do, but no, I never do. Too risky. Okay, so let's have a quick look at them all. Okay, so we've got a bit of movement now on the Euro CAD. Okay, so let's go along on the EuroCAD. Okay, just below there, so that's not too bad. Okay, just coming in below a 200 moving average. Okay, and I 1 to 2. Yeah, ideally I'd like it below the pivot line, somewhere around there. Okay, so that's not a bad looking thing. Right, so we'll just hit the. Right, so let's see where price went to previously. Okay, so right now it's at a kind of a previous high. Okay, the next previous high, optimistically, or getting rid of our optimism bias, would be about here. Okay, not on top of the wicks, not on top of these bodies, but on top of the bodies here. Okay, so that is about where we want to be looking at. And bearing in mind that, you know, it's been a fairly quiet day, have we now got enough to do a 1 to 2 ratio? Is it 1 to 1.2? Okay, so not really. Okay, so if we did a 1 to 2 onto there, and this is what you'll be looking at. Okay, price has gone up, it's quite positive. Okay, obviously it's gone way past our trend line. Okay, but this is the area we're looking at. It's broken out of that. Okay, in fact we're now kind of into profits, but this is our take. So let's have a look. Let's just see where price goes. Let's see where price goes to. I said right now, this is where we are right now. And like you say, if I was to put an area of interest on, it would be here. Okay, so it's tapping these two, it's tapping there, tapping that, tapping that. In fact, even maybe a bit lower. Okay, so this price is looking fairly good in terms of wanting to break out. But again, this area here, okay, it's going to be support and resistance. And if you don't put these lines on, and you don't really understand the correlation of the lines, literally just look at the price. Look, price came up, hit it. Okay, price came up, went through it, and then came back. Okay, now it could be a bit lower, say, and tap these. So ideally you could maybe do that. Okay, so you can look, price bounce off there. Okay, and that price will be respected there as well. Respect it there. So again, you look at that and you just do more of these lines, and with experience you get an idea of where to put them. And then sometimes you can go, well, why did price go to there and bounce off? What's happening? Okay, and as soon as you put a line on, you go, oh yeah, previous price action. Okay, let's take it even further. Okay, so let's put it on those lines there. That's where we're going to put it. Okay, so again, price touched it there. Okay, price came up, touched it there. Okay, touched it here. Okay, if you want to know what's going to happen in the future, just look at what happened in the past. I know someone told me that a while ago, but it's true, absolutely true. And it's just a case of being able to understand what's happening, and being able to kind of understand that correlation, that relationship. And all you're doing is putting a line. You know, when I before I actually started trading, the guy that started our community said, look, if you can put a line on a chart, can you press that? Yeah, and can you press that? Put a line on the chart. Can you do that? Yeah. Well, if you can do that in the right place, you can trade. Okay, and part of what he said was right. I mean, there's a lot of things a lot of factors, but if you can put a line on a chart and you understand what that line means, then you're halfway there to being a successful trader. Okay, without the need for a million indicators. Okay, just one trend line, one horizontal ray on there. Okay, and it'll tell you a lot of information. Right, we'll see what this does. We'll save the chart. We'll come back tomorrow and have a look and see what happened. Let's have a quick look at them all. Okay, so we've got Euro USD still going sideways, not doing a lot. GBP CAD. Okay, see, so it's trying to break out of this area with this 200. Okay, but it's not quite there yet. Interesting. GBP CAD, GBP USD. Yeah, still battling this 200 moving average. It's now going down to the downside. And again, if we're going to consider this as a sell, we'd wait for this to go through this trend line here and then to the further downside. But at the moment, it's just pretty much in consolidation. Right. Anyway, any questions that you've got, put a comment below in the comments, and ask me anything you like, because I always reply. I've always got my my contact details in the description as well, so reach out to me with any questions that you've got. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, then please hit that subscribe button. Just goes a long way to being able to make more videos like this. And if you got some value from this or any of the videos on this channel, give us a thumbs up, really appreciate that. And I will see you at I'll be on 6 AM tomorrow doing the Crossfire session at 6, and also 1 o'clock tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.